Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Bienvenue, mesdames et messieurs, and welcome to the second presentation in the 2011 Speaker Series program. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I thank each one of you for joining us this evening, and I sincerely hope that you will learn and enjoy the presentation. DIVA raises awareness within society of the importance of women's health by delivering programs itself, such as the Speaker Series, the DIVA of Distinction Award, and our own awards program. We also support and reward other charities that deliver valuable services and programs to women and to those whose missions mesh with our own. We have partnered with, worked side by side with, supported and or given financial donations to the Friends of Hospice, Interval House, the Ottawa Hospital, the University of Ottawa, and the Canadian Institute of Health Research, Project Upstream, the Canadian Hospice Palliative Care Association, the Shirley E. Greenberg Women's Health Centre, the White Ribbon Campaign, the Society of Gynecologists and Obstetricians of Canada, the Canadian Foundation for Women's Maternal Health. This is not an inclusive list, but I hope it demonstrates to you the manner in which DIVA delivers on its promise. Over the years, I have been asked a number of questions about the Foundation and the Speaker Series, and it occurred to me that many of you may have the same questions. I would like to address three of them this evening. The first, why does DIVA deliver a health education program? We do it because we passionately believe in the value of quality, accessible, and affordable education on issues that are important to women and therefore to all members of society. The Speaker Series addresses 4 pillars of women's health: physical, mental, social, and financial, with the objective of preventing illness and disease and promoting healthy lifestyle choices. The second, why do you do this when the federal, provincial, and municipal legislative bodies all share the responsibility of advancing the health of Canadians? And we pay them to do it with our taxes. Remember, we're all volunteers. The answer is to be found in the very nature of people and of governments in a democratic society. In society, people have needs and wants. The government's job is to meet, to the best of its ability, the needs and wants of the people. Here's the catch. Governments must distribute their resources across a very broad spectrum of diverse needs amongst its citizens. No government can meet all the needs of all the people all the time. There just isn't enough financial or human resources to do so. Thus, a gap exists between what the people want and need and what the government can deliver. The not-for-profit charitable sector across the world has been filling this gap for hundreds of years. DIVA, as a member of that sector, continues a tradition by doing its part in closing a very specific gap. The gap that exists in the needs and wants of women vis-a-vis health education and woman-centric research and what governments are able to provide. We do it because we recognize a need and because we passionately believe in the value of the best health possible for every member of our society. The third and last question, what's in it for you? The answer is really the same as it is for all of us, for everyone in this room, really for all members of society. It's a chance to learn and grow. A chance to expand our knowledge bank into areas in which we are less familiar. A chance to take what we learn and apply it to ourselves and our families. A chance to move forward in life by making the right, healthy lifestyle choices for ourselves and for those who depend on us to make good choices for them. And finally, the Speaker Series allows us to learn from Canadians who are experts on the subjects and issues that matter to us most. So this evening, we will learn in a relaxing and pleasant environment without stress and without tests. So let's sit back and enjoy this evening and the wonderful presentation that Dr. Laramee is going to give us. I will now ask him to come forward and to introduce our very distinguished speaker for the evening, Dr. Laramee.
Thank you, Grace. I never promised that there wasn't going to be a test at the end, so better practice those listening skills. Before I invite Dr. Laramee to come up, I would like to introduce you to her, give you a bit more information about her. She actually studied medicine in my hometown of Montreal and received her degree at Université de Montréal. Following her specialty training in internal medicine and cardiology right here in Ottawa, she completed, and this part I have to read, a fellowship in coronary angioplasty and acute intervention in myocardial infarction in the Mild America Heart Institute in Kansas City. There we go. She then joined the Division of Cardiology at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute, where she continued to work in intervention cardiology. She is very involved in teaching clinical skills to the medical students at the Faculty of Medicine of the University of Ottawa, and she's actually just been named to the Distinguished Teacher Program at the University of Ottawa and is the recipient of the 2011 Merit Award of the Canadian Association of Medical Education. Her academic, that's a word that because I'm a francophone I have trouble saying in English. Interests include interventional cardiology, cardiovascular health and disease prevention, women's heart health, which is what we're going to talk a lot about tonight, gender issues, and medical education. And she has served on numerous committees serving these interests as well as examiners' boards. So I think that about all. Do you have any pets?
We'll talk about that.
Okay, Dr. Laramee, if you would like to come forward, we would be very happy.
Can you hear me? Can you hear? Yes? Good. Good evening. I am so thrilled to be here. The DIVA Foundation, that's phenomenal, what all of you are doing. That's something that was on my wish list 25 years ago when I became interested in heart disease in women. It started, I was doing a project on who were the women that ended up in our, I'm an interventional cardiologist, in our catheterization laboratory to have an angiogram. What happened to bring these men and women there, and what were the differences between men and women? And at that time, it wasn't all that popular to even suggest that women were not men. It sounds a little silly to say, but just the thought that women might have particular needs and wants and medical needs and presentations of their disease and different set of risk factors, different prognosis, how well or not well they do after a heart attack. That was a bit foreign. So we've come a long way in 25 years. And the most important thing is what women know so that they can look after themselves, but also do what we do best. And what is that? Take care of others, right? We're like the post-children, sorry, men. How many men do we have here? Thank you for being there and support. My goodness, that's wonderful. But, you know, we're the poster child for putting the oxygen on first before you put it on anybody else. All my career, I've wanted to equip women, to give women the tools to look after themselves, to give them the right to look after themselves, so that they make a better life for themselves, but for their families and for everything that a woman does, all the roles that women have. So thank you again. I'm really happy to be here. I have one little news which just happened two weeks ago. Yes, what are we today? We are the 13th. So 13 days ago, I also took another job, an additional job. What we do in medicine is we add, and we're not very good at subtracting. So I'm not down to the subtracting yet, but I've just been named the Assistant Dean of Student Affairs at the Faculty of Medicine of the University of Ottawa. And I'm not saying this for applause. I am saying this because I love our students. there is nothing I wouldn't do for our students. Our students are our doctors of the future. And Student Affairs looks after everything that students need to happen in order to be successful in learning medicine and producing good doctors. It looks at not so much the academic side, which I'm involved with teaching, but it looks at basically the student wellness and the determinants of health in medical students. And of course, we have 70% women medical students now, and nearly 70% in most faculties of medicine, are the very same, and they deal with the very same issues, a big financial debt. Some live below poverty line, and you wouldn't think that. So they give a lot, and I'm so happy to be part of their life to help them along if I can. Now, having said that, did you see a little bit what came on that screen? Now, how do I do this? I'm just gonna close this and go back to the slideshow. All right, we can go back to this. So what's the face of coronary disease? Coronaries are, I'm not comfortable behind this big thing. Coronaries are the arteries that feed the heart. A lot of people know that. So the doctors call it coronary disease. And we often don't even interject when we don't understand, right? We get them talking and all that. So heart disease. That's the face of heart disease in women. All ages, all races. It touches everyone. I got involved 25 years ago. I don't know if some of you knew about the artificial heart program at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute. I was on call one day, and I can say her name. Normally we wouldn't divulge patients' names, but this woman has been instrumental in moving things along health-wise at the Heart Institute. Madame Leclerc came in, Noëlla Leclerc came in with the biggest heart attack you can have. She was on death's door, and for sure she was going to die. And Dr. Keon had on one of his miraculous shelves, he had a little artificial heart. And when you look for a heart transplant in a hurry, you can't find it's not always that you can find a donor heart in time. And Madame Leclerc was dying. And he said, we're just about ready to go in clinicals, but we were not quite. Anyway, so Madame Leclerc had an artificial heart. And she was 42 years old. And she had a massive heart attack and would have died. Now, she survived for many, many years following that. She had an orthotopic heart transplant following that and did very well. And in fact, she was the one who gave the Bible to my child at First Communion because she was very involved in volunteering activities. So again, the woman gives again. In any case, so she was 42 years old. How can that happen? Do you think that happens frequently in 42-year-old women? Do you think we see that once a year? No. More? 10 times a year?